warrior. I put out a warning before I lay out these words in front of you, because they are very, very dire. How does a 10-year-old child know how to kill themselves? First of all, I want to put out the suicide prevention lifeline, 988. Like we have 911, 988. You can call if you're in need, if a family member's in need, if you want to just ask information, if you want to ask about local resources, use it. It's there for you. It is a resource. What am I talking about? I am talking about a little fourth grader named Sammy Teusch. It's been in all the headlines. I saw it late last night, all day, that he killed himself. Indiana boy, fourth grader. How does a fourth grader, I ask again, enough, how does a fourth grader know to kill themselves? The story goes, and I am investigating, I want to make sure information is correct, what's being reported. I like to, get down to business and find out things for myself, but what's being reported, what we're being told, is he was bullied on the school bus, he was bullied about his glasses, he was bullied about his teeth, and that his parents had several meetings over the past year addressing all of this. But it goes back to the core question, how does a fourth grader? They're not reporting how Sammy killed himself. So I have a lot of questions about that as well. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. We have no health if we don't have mental health. What exactly is mental health? Because, some days you feel good, some days you don't feel good. That is natural. But we're talking now about extreme mental health. Sammy's not the only one killing himself. We have several documented cases of children, Sammy's age, 4th grade, 5th grade, 6th grade. Children, babies, killing themselves. I'm not going to go into all the different ways they're doing it. Just know that this is an epidemic. Just know the media doesn't report enough on all of this. Just know our children are suffering a mental health crisis. This is what we need to be working on day and night. And it's not something you address once. It is something that you talk about on a daily basis. You have to make it part of the daily routine. You have to get into your heads that we live in a different world, that it's not like it used to be. We can't have that argument anymore. It is overwhelming, it is dark, and it is ugly, and that is the reality warrior. That's what we're facing. So you need to be the leader. Community creates change. We have to talk about. The story of Sammy, age appropriate, is actually a good story to share with your children. Again, you have parental autonomy, so it's up to you to decide what age you want to share something like this. But certainly, if a 4th grader, and remember other children this age, the age of Sammy, pray for this child, kill themselves, relentless bullying. And remember the bullying. The bullying when we were kids, we went home, we closed the door, and it ended, right? It ended. Today, the bullying goes online 24/7, 365. It never ends. All the more reason you must talk to your kids. I want to know about all these parents who have kids that bully. You have to be on the lookout, because we talk about usually the victim. What about if your child is a bully? What do you do about it? You have to take action, because if they're a bully as a child, most likely they'll grow up and be a bully as an adult. NAMI, National Alliance on Mental Illness, NAMI.org, is a wonderful website full of every kind of study, take action, toolkit, information you need to know. You need to read up on it. 5 minutes here and there. Recognize the indicators of what is a bully, or if your child's being bullied. Mental health. What am I going to do? I remember when my children were younger, I remember a mother in particular saying to me, how can you address that? And it was about a tutor. Why not? Oh, well, and I'm sort of just putting the story, I'm sort of shortening it, but Oh, well, that'll draw attention to his, needs, and maybe that won't look good on his school record. No, we are the warriors. We are the ones that are the protectors. We are the leaders. I had a very interesting day recently. Less than 48 hours ago, I was up in our state capital, Albany, in New York, meeting along with our coalition group, New Yorkers for the Equality Model, different legislators. Now, this is bipartisan. Everything we do is bipartisan. Human rights abuses, these are children, teens, families. These are the issues we work on. The trafficking, the sexual exploitation, the online safety, the real-time safety, what goes on in schools, what goes on in your community. I am tired. We know it's bad, right? I'm tired of that when I talk, those faces. I had a conversation with my great friend from Florida, our colleague as well, Dr. Fran Bononeri. She flew into New York yesterday. We met up and we both agreed. Enough of these conferences, these meetings, the this, the that. We now need reality. We need the solutions and we need the resources to stem this, to end this. How many more stories do we have to hear? Like little Sammy Teusch, a 4th grader in Indiana, killing himself. And to see a video of other children crying at his coffin and placing flowers. I'm sorry. Suicide is the second leading cause of death among children 9 to 17. Think about that fact. Think about all these facts. So I will continue going to Albany, going to Washington, D.C. But I have to tell you, in Albany, and we go in, it's called Lobby Day. It's about over 30 of us, all with the same issue: protect people, not pimps, help people out of prostitution should they want, give them strategies, give them exit services, but hold accountable the pimp, the trafficker, the brothel owner. Something I should say to you is, do you want a brothel next door? Will that help you understand what's going on here? Because that's what's coming. That's what people want. These elected officials, we the people, we pay the taxes. So after, we go in groups, 5 or 6, into each legislator, and I study up. I want to know what their committees are, what I do my homework. A lot of them are involved with women's issues, family issues, safety. I usually let everybody else talk in the group, and then I'm reality. Let's get to it. This is the United States of America. Nobody should be allowed to buy and sell another person. And let me remind you, the demand is for children. And they just stare. I'm telling you this because while I continue to chip away at that, and why I continue to ask you when we have sign-ons and take actions, I need you. I need you. There is power in numbers. We as a community must talk to our children. I'm hearing too many stories. The ages are getting younger and younger. 9 years old, 10 years old. It used to be 14, 15, 16. Now we're hearing a lot of 9, 10s, and 11s. What does that tell you? Also, everybody better correct their facts. Because pretty much every thing you hear about human trafficking, it's a $150 billion business. I've been hearing that number since before the C word that we don't like to talk about, COVID. I just want to clarify that because this is a family show after all. Of course it has to rise because we have open borders, we have more sex trafficking, more labor trafficking, more everything. Well, there was a little fact put out just the other day when I brought this up. Because I keep asking, it's got to be more. It's got to be more than 4 or 5 years ago. It is now reported to be $350 billion. $350 billion. If it's reported to be $350 billion, who knows what it is? 500 billion plus. Can't really gauge it. But now it's 350 billion. We're also always hearing 43 million people. No, it's 50 million people. But that's not even correct. And that 50 million was put out a couple of months ago. Nobody really talked about it. But it's much higher than that. We must stay in our lanes. You need to listen to me. You need to be a warrior. Please subscribe to the channel. Share the information. Please comment. Please ask me questions. I had a great question the other day, and it was we were talking about the Kids Online Safety Act, KOSA, K-O-S-A, bipartisan, couple of little guardrails to protect kids online that we can't get to a vote. Chuck Schumer, you represent me. We're waiting for that to be put on the calendar. Go to a vote, bipartisan. And somebody wrote in on the video and said, well, who are the 67 sponsoring KOSA? So I was glad to provide the link so this person can see if their representatives are on it, and they were, happily. But that's the kind of thing we need to do, a little more interaction here on the Warriors. And now we have 68 co-sponsors. I'll take one new person. That is a Warrior win for KOSA. So while everybody is talking about, I don't know, upcoming debates, and this one and that one, and trials, and let us focus on our children, ourselves, our families. The story of Sammy, I will have the information in the body of this video. But warning, this stuff is tough, but this stuff is the reality. Don't let your child be the next Sammy. Understand what's going on. Understand that May is Mental Health Awareness Month. Understand there are resources free. I try to provide as many free resources as possible. If you have questions, ask. Don't be embarrassed. Especially, let's leverage the internet for good. I mean, it's online. You can ask questions. You're not facing somebody even. So start asking them. Protect your children. We're getting to the end of the school year. Study up on what games are out there, what apps are out there, what the kids will be spending more time on. Get them involved in nature. There's so much you can do. It's so easy. Just takes a little bit of buckling down. I'm going to do it. And a few easy steps make all the difference. Because I tell you, the kids want it. The focus groups we do, the kids want us to take control. The kids want us to recognize more. Let us all think about little Sammy. Poor child, all the other children, suffering, and recognize them and help them. Let us do prevention and education. So while I chip away in Washington and Albany, my state capital, we need to be those boots on the ground, the warriors on the ground. Community does create change. We want one win a day at the Warriors, and you, my warrior, can make all the difference. So join us, lynswarriors.org. Thank you. We're off to a wonderful event tonight. Our partners with Lifeway Network, 2 safe houses that we fully support and work with, help finance, and we are going to have a wonderful time because there is nothing more important for victims, survivors of human trafficking, than safe housing, a place to put your head on the pillow, a place to eat a meal at a table, a bathroom, things we may take for granted. This is what it's about, not all the other noise. So I urge all of you, continue supporting us, continue listening, help us grow the channel. Let us become the leaders, not the predators. Remember, each and every day, go out. Thank you so much, and be a warrior.